This is Chris Carter. This is number 2 of developing distractions. And I had a very short meditation because, as has been the norm pretty much throughout this whole year, but especially in the last few months, chaos keeps being thrown at me like snowballs. So I'm determined to do this. And I was inspired to have this session this morning. So I'm kind of squeaking it between a couple of other Zoom meetings that I have and preparing for the school visit tomorrow that I'm very, very excited about, meeting with high school students, doing some demonstrations in watercolor and ink and answering questions. I can't wait for that tomorrow. So I did really want to do this to kind of calm my nerves and stay on track with the developing of distractions. So I'm going to switch to the other camera as soon as I, again, locate what I'm working on. Okay. All right. So that I can show that to you. I was meditating on a different version of this. So I will switch the cameras, and there's going to be a big mess on my desk that you see because none of that has gotten organized, and that's fine. So here we go. This is the photo I'm working on today. And I think I need to cut it this way. Oops. In the meditation, the main message was not about the materials I would be using, or even about a visual direction to move forward in. This is a photograph that I knew I would work from as soon as I saw it through my phone camera. Let's see where I am. And what I will be doing is first listing some words that came to mind. Let's see. Yeah, I can do that there. In fact, I'm going to, I know I may be mumbling, but that's what I'll be doing. What I was getting was either preconceived notions or attitudes that I've held on to for a little bit too long in my life. And that could be a result of an earlier conversation today that I had, in which I was expressing, here, I'll turn this. Okay, a conversation I that was describing to a dear friend my experience in Toulouse. And that really had to do a lot with what I learned about the Cathars. That's a whole other realm. But I think that it has certainly affected the meditation that I had when meditating on that image. And I'm going to be writing down a lot of words, which is going to be pretty fascinating. I'm beginning to think that I could do another whole series just on this photograph. So I'm going to flip back. Actually, I won't flip back yet. I'm going to write down some of the words that come to mind. One is streaks. One is red and green. One is Christmas. One is attitude. Another is gray areas. Nuances. Acceptance. And these are going back to the fact that my least favorite color combination is bright red and bright green. And part of that goes back to Christmas. And certainly is not that I had negative experiences around Christmas. And I certainly had fabulous times creating what I could to be as magical as possible with my children, and to keep relating Christmas back to what I felt was the meaning behind Christmas and the intent, other than shopping and lots of gifts and Santa and that whole thing. Now, that being said, too, and I really do not want to get into religion on this, but I've gone through many phases when it comes to belief and religions. And so that kind of colors what was going on in my head during the meditation too, going back to the Cathars and their relationship with the Catholic Church. Now, I was not Catholic, I never have been, but I've attended Catholic churches a lot because my very best friend, Kathleen, friend for now 70 years, was Catholic, and I joined often. And bottom line, I believe people should be allowed to have their own beliefs, regardless of what they are. If they're good people living a good life without intentionally harming others, I'm fine with it. Okay, so all of these things, which I really did not think were going to be layered into that image, are. Okay, so there's also silk ribbons and forests, cadmium red light, sparks of energy, and extensions. Now, there are a lot more, but as I'm saying extensions, I'm going to flip the camera because now I'm feeling the need to do some extensions. So I will show you that. Well, this is really becoming something very different from what I expected. But this is very, very surprising. All right, well that was that was oh wow. Ah, okay, that was a real glimpse at how I really work. So the words kind of cleared out some of the debris that was going through my head, trying to intellectually make sense of something, which in my life is, those are two opposite poles of my existence. Um, and then I really didn't expect the drawing part to do what it did. Started to take on a life of its own, which I then tried to nurture. And that I always related to being a mom of my three kids, because especially having identical twin daughters, where it was clear to me in the beginning that they were two completely different souls, beings, that happened to look exactly alike, same height, same weight, same level of intelligence, same all of that, except that they processed information differently. Their What drove them was different, what excited them was different, the way they approached things was different, and they were two really different human beings. So when I would see something, for example, Nicole getting super excited about three-dimensional things in a museum and not really excited at all by any of the two-dimensional work. But if there's any kind of collaging going on at all, she was really excited. And Nicole is the one who, in my mind, processes things three-dimensionally. And Alexis processes things two-dimensionally. I could explain math problems on a piece of paper to her, whereas I would build things for Nicole. Um, so when I see a drawing or a painting starts to take on a personality or an energy of its own, even if it's completely different from what I thought it was going to be, I perk up, I pay attention. It's like, oh, okay, what do I feel this is asking for? What direction do I feel it wants to go in? What kind of a mark can I give it to move it forward in whatever message it has to tell me or to reveal or spark something. I really try to nurture the direction that the painting is going and have that conversation. And again, it's like a child where they learn a larger vocabulary. And as a mom, I would try to enhance the conversation in the best way I can by helping my kids to describe what their feelings or what their thoughts were, either through my art or through teaching them a new word or reading a story that might relate to it. In what way could I give them more tools to express their feeling? And that's how I treat my drawings and paintings. That's the only way I know how to. Otherwise, I'm controlling it. I'm turning it into something that I already know. Well, why do I want to do something I already know? I'm not learning anything from that. So instead, I would much rather all of my drawings and paintings be a lesson to me, something that moves me forward. And I'm going to switch it back again for a minute. Okay, so this is something that I didn't expect it. It's new to me, but it makes the photograph even more intriguing. And I don't know if this is going to go any further than that or not, but I am even more excited about what all these other distractions, here are they, that I will be developing. What are they going to present? I mean, this is going to be a very exciting sketchbook to me. And who knows what will happen. So that's it for today, because I reached a point where the painting said, okay, I've said something, and now it's up to me to contemplate it a little bit more and either understand what was told to me or not, or just move on and come back another time. I'm not really sure. Another analogy that I can make is it's similar to the novel that I wrote for my friend Kathleen's son when he was 5 years old and was in a terrible car accident and became paralyzed, and started as a title, Hoodoo McGrew and the Glumfer. I thought it was a little children's story or something. And it turned out to be a full-fledged novel, first novel I ever wrote or completed. And there is, I do have that. I just a year or two ago, I went back and recorded myself reading Hoodoo McGrew and the Glumfer. And that is also available to you as a member of our community. You can hear the whole book. And I had no idea. It was more or less like watching a movie. A character would come in. I wasn't sure what that character was going to do, and I would just watch. At the time, I had 3 kids under the age of 3. And I had no energy left to write a novel, but because of this tragedy, I was just really driven to do that. So at the end of the night, kids were in bed, and I would get up and I would write, and I would just write what I was seeing in my head until the point where it's like, okay, go to bed now. There was all the characters, everybody was going off to take a break. So I just committed myself to writing as long as the picture was flowing. And then I would stop. And that's what I just felt with this sketch. It was like I was doing things, and it wasn't like I could stop because there were more things that I was being guided to do. And then all of a sudden, okay, that's it. Doesn't mean that I won't get an inspiration for something more at a later date. But right then, that was it. And sometimes that can happen after 30 seconds, sometimes not for 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. And there are times when I can't continue on if, and I have to stop it. But if I don't have to, I stay with the sparks and the inspiration and the drive until I reach that mysterious place that says, okay, stop. And I trust that in my stuff. So that's it for today. I don't know what the next session will bring. I can't wait for the next session, but I like that I'm just popping in and out when I can fit it in, when I'm inspired to, and I was really inspired to. I couldn't fit it in very well today, but I shifted some things around because I couldn't get that photograph from saying, do this now. So I was able to do that. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy the recording when it's posted. I had a great time. Have a great day. I'm Chris Carter. Thanks for being a member of the community. Have a great day.